Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden stories behind coins that might just be sitting in your pocket or drawer right now. Rarest coins. Today we're diving deep into a coin that has sparked a wave of speculation online. The 1979 D. Washington Quarter. Some headlines and rumors have claimed that one of these coins sold or could sell for as much as $1.5 million. But is there any truth to that? Could your 1979 Denver minted quarter be worth a life-changing amount of money? Let's break it all down. We'll talk about the history of this coin, what makes some quarters extremely valuable, what errors and conditions you need to look out for, and finally, whether or not this coin has actually sold for $1.5 million. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The coin was designed by sculptor John Flanagan and quickly became a staple in American currency. For decades, the design remained largely the same, featuring Washington's bust on the obverse and a heraldic eagle on the reverse. That reverse design continued all the way up to 1998, making the 1979 version part of the classic era of the Washington Quarter. Now, in 1979, the Denver Mint produced over 489 million quarters. That's right, nearly 500 million coins. That makes the 1979 D quarter incredibly common in circulation. Most of the quarters from that year that you'll find in your change today have been heavily circulated and are only worth their face value, 25 cents. But as always in coin collecting, the real value lies in two key things: condition and rarity. Let's talk condition first. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A coin in mint state, meaning it hasn't been used in circulation, can be worth significantly more than a worn coin. A 1979 D. Washington Quarter graded MS-65 might sell for between $10 and $20. Move up to MS-66, and the value increases to around $50 or $60. Get to MS-67, and you're looking at hundreds. In fact, examples of this coin graded MS-67 have sold at auction for over $1,000. These coins are rare because most quarters simply weren't preserved in perfect condition. They were used, tossed in pockets, and scraped against vending machines. Finding one in pristine condition is not easy, but there's more. The real excitement comes from errors and varieties. Every now and then, a coin makes it through the minting process with a mistake, and collectors love mint errors. For the 1979 D quarter, some known errors include off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, and die cracks. These kinds of errors can make the value of the coin skyrocket, especially if they're dramatic and rare. For example, if you found a 1979 D quarter that was struck off-center by 40%, or if the obverse and reverse were mismatched, that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. One coin's value is all about how rare and unusual its features are, how dramatic the error is, and how well it's been preserved. Now let's talk about that big claim. The idea that a 1979 D quarter sold or could sell for $1.5 million. This rumor has made its way around social media, and many people are hoping that their old change could turn into instant fortune. But let's get this straight. As of today, there is no verified record of a 1979 D quarter selling for $1.5 million through any professional auction house, grading service, or known private sale. So where did the million-dollar story come from? In many cases, these kinds of rumors start with highly speculative articles, clickbait headlines, or online listings that set fantasy prices. Sometimes a seller will post a common coin on a marketplace and list it for an outrageous amount just to see if anyone bites. But just because a coin is listed at a certain price doesn't mean it's actually worth that amount. The real value is based on what someone is willing to pay and what similar coins have actually sold for in certified auctions. That said, there is always a possibility, even if very slim, that a unique error or a one-of-a-kind version of a 1979 D quarter could be discovered in the future. A coin struck on the wrong planchet. A proof coin with a dramatic double die. A flawless MS-70 example that slipped through the cracks. These are the kinds of things that might break records if they exist and are authenticated by professional graders. But so far, the highest auction records for this coin are in the thousands, not millions. So what should you do if you have a 1979 D quarter in your possession? First, check the condition. If it looks brand new, With no wear on the surfaces, no scratches, and strong, sharp details, you might have an uncirculated coin worth grading. Second, look for anything unusual. Are the letters doubled? Is the design off-center? Does it feel thicker or thinner than a normal quarter? These might be signs of a valuable error. Third, don't clean it. Cleaning coins almost always lowers their value. Leave it in its natural state. Fourth, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate the coin, grade it, and document any errors. This is the most trustworthy way to find out what your coin is really worth. And finally, do your research. Look at completed auction listings, not just active ones. Pay attention to what coins have actually sold for and compare them to yours.in summary. The 1979 D. Washington quarter is a coin with rich history and a huge circulation. Most of them are common and worth face value. However, if you find one in pristine condition or with a major mint error, it could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. As for the $1.5 million story, there's no confirmed proof that such a sale ever happened. But in the world of rare coins, anything is possible. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more deep dives into coins and collectibles, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin. Who knows, maybe your next trip to the coin jar will uncover a hidden gem. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and stay curious. Let me know if you'd like help adapting this for short-form content or adding visuals and narration cues. Welcome back to the channel where coins tell stories and small change can sometimes turn into big money. Today we're focusing on a coin that has been stirring up a lot of curiosity lately. The 1998 P. Washington quarter. There are online claims and viral posts suggesting that one of these quarters might be worth as much as $1.1 million. That's right, over $1 million for a coin that most people would pass off as pocket change. Is it true? What makes the 1998 P quarter so special? And could you be holding on to a coin worth a fortune without even knowing it? Let's find out. First, let's take a step back and look at the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was designed by John Flanagan and has been a staple of American currency ever since. Over the years, there have been several changes to the design, including the introduction of the state quarters in 1999. But the 1998 Washington quarter was the final coin produced before the state quarter program began. That alone makes it a bit of a milestone in numismatic history. In 1998, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 896 million Washington quarters. That's a massive number. So the 1998 P quarter is not rare in general terms. You can find them in circulation, and most are worth no more than their face value. A regular 1998 P quarter in circulated condition is worth about 25 cents. Even in uncirculated condition, unless it's a very high grade, the value only jumps to a couple of dollars. So where does the million-dollar claim come from? This is where things get interesting. Coin value is determined by three major factors: condition, rarity, and errors. Let's look at each. First, condition. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A grade of MS-70 means the coin is in perfect mint state condition with no flaws. Coins from 1998 that are graded MS-67 or higher can be worth more than face value, sometimes reaching up to $50 or even $100. MS-68 and above? Those are extremely rare for this coin and could sell for several $100s or more, depending on market demand. Second, rarity. As mentioned, the 1998 P quarter isn't rare in terms of mintage numbers, but rarity can come from specific varieties or errors that make a coin unique. And this brings us to the third and most intriguing factor: mint errors. Some 1998 P quarters have been found with unusual errors that drastically increase their value. These include things like off-center strikes, double die errors, die cracks, and even broad strikes. But one of the most talked about varieties is the transitional error. Now, what is a transitional error? It happens when the mint accidentally uses a planchet or design from a different year or series. For example, if a 1998 quarter was accidentally struck on a planchet mint for a different coin, or with a die intended for the 1999 state quarters, that would make it incredibly rare and potentially very valuable. There's also discussion about certain proof errors. Proof coins are specially made with polished dies and planchets for collectors, often with a mirror-like finish. Occasionally, a proof coin intended for collectors is mistakenly released into circulation. If you find a 1998 P quarter with that kind of finish, especially if it was struck on the wrong planchet or with a unique die variation, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But now let's talk about the claim that a 1998 P quarter sold or is valued at $1.1 million. This claim has spread through social media, blogs, and online videos. And while it sounds exciting, there is no verified auction record or sale through a professional coin grading service to confirm that any 1998 P quarter has actually sold for over $1 million. It's likely that this rumor began as a mix of speculation and confusion. Sometimes, coins with rare errors or in extraordinary condition are listed online for massive prices, but that doesn't mean anyone actually bought them for that amount. Just because someone lists a coin on an auction site for $1 million doesn't mean it's worth that much. That said, there's always a chance that a previously undiscovered error could surface. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Every once in a while, someone finds a coin that changes everything. It could be a minting mistake no one noticed before. It could be a test strike that slipped out of the mint. Or it could be a combination of rare factors that together make a coin unique and incredibly valuable. If that ever happened with a 1998 P quarter, and it could be verified and authenticated, then yes, it could potentially reach that $1 million mark. But it hasn't happened yet. What should you do if you think you have a valuable 1998 P quarter? First, examine the coin carefully. Look for anything unusual. Is the strike off center? Do you see doubling on the letters or numbers? Is there a strange texture or weight? If anything looks out of the ordinary, you might have something special. Next, don't clean the coin. Cleaning a coin can ruin its surface and decrease its value dramatically. Handle it gently by the edges and avoid touching the face of the coin. Then, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can evaluate the coin's authenticity, grade, and any potential errors. This is the best way to get a verified opinion and unlock the coin's true market value. Finally, check completed sales, not just listings, on reputable auction sites to see what similar coins have sold for. That gives you a realistic idea of what collectors are willing to pay. In summary, the 1998 P Washington quarter is a common coin in circulation, but it's special in its own right. As the final issue before the State Quarter series, it has historical significance. While most examples are only worth face value, high-grade coins and rare error varieties can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. And while the $1 million claim may be more myth than fact, the possibility of discovering a rare and valuable coin is very real. So check your change. Look at the details and pay attention to what others might overlook. You never know when an ordinary coin could turn into an extraordinary treasure. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin stories and collecting tips, and let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare or unusual quarter. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and never underestimate the value of the coins in your pocket. Let me know if you'd like this adapted for voiceover pacing, with scene suggestions, or shortened for TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Welcome to the channel. If you're into coins, collectibles, and stories that blend history with hidden treasure, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most talked about modern coins in the United States. It's the Washington quarter from 1990, specifically the one minted in Denver, known as the 1990 D Washington quarter. Now you might be wondering how a regular quarter, the kind you might find in your change or at the bottom of a drawer, could possibly be worth more than $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. There are claims circulating online and in collecting communities that one of these quarters sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. But is it true? Could your 25-cent coin be a jackpot in disguise? Let's dig into the history, the facts, the hype, and the real market value of this intriguing piece of U.S. currency. Let's start with the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, it quickly became a staple in American pockets and purses. Over time, there have been changes in design, metal content, and mint marks. But by 1990, The quarter had settled into a familiar look, George Washington on the obverse, and the iconic eagle on the reverse. In 1990, the Denver Mint produced a massive number of quarters. Over 927 million of them, to be exact. These coins were struck in the standard copper-nickel-clad composition used since 1965. The 1990 D quarter doesn't stand out at first glance. There's no silver in it. It looks like any regular quarter, and it has no special commemorative markings. So why all the fuss? Why is this coin suddenly gaining attention? Well, the value of coins is often driven by three things: rarity, condition, and errors. Let's break it down. First, rarity. The 1990 D quarter isn't rare in general circulation. In fact, hundreds of millions were minted. If you're holding one in circulated condition, it's likely worth only its face value, 25 cents. Even in mint state, which means it hasn't been used or handled much, the value might go up a little. Coins graded MS66 can be worth around $10 to $20. MS67, a higher grade, can push the value to over $100, sometimes more depending on the market. And yes, some coins graded MS67 Plus have sold for over $1,000 at auction. In fact, one such coin sold for about $1,440 in a 2018 Heritage auction. That's impressive for a quarter, but still nowhere near a million. Second, condition. Coin collectors use a scale called the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70, to judge the quality of a coin. A coin graded MS70 is flawless, but it's incredibly rare, especially for coins that were mass-produced and widely circulated. So if you find a 1990 D quarter that's shiny, sharp, and untouched, you may have something valuable, but it must be certified by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC to command serious money. Now, let's talk about errors. This is where things get interesting. Some 1990 D quarters have been found with striking errors or unique features that can significantly boost their value. For example, coins with double die errors, off-center strikes, die clashes, or missing mint marks can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the error type and visibility. One known error is the wing die clash, where part of the eagle's wing from the reverse appears faintly on the obverse side of the coin. Another is the double die mint mark, where the D appears doubled under magnification. These rare minting mistakes can make collectors and investors alike go hunting through their spare change in hopes of finding a jackpot. Now let's address the big claim. The rumor that a 1990 D quarter sold for $1.2 million. This claim has been floating around various blogs and social media posts, often without proof or any reference to a verified sale. While it's possible that a coin with multiple, extremely rare and dramatic errors could hypothetically fetch a sky-high price if the right collector comes along, there is currently no official auction record, grading certification, or public sale that supports the idea that any 1990 D Washington quarter has ever sold for over $1 million. It's important to be careful when you hear stories like this. The coin collecting world is full of legends, myths, and exaggerations. Some headlines are designed to get clicks, not to share facts. But that doesn't mean the 1990 D quarter isn't worth looking into. In excellent condition or with a rare error, it can be a valuable find. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to discover an undiscovered variety that turns out to be worth a fortune. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1990 D quarter? First, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can ruin its value instantly. Handle it carefully by the edges and avoid touching the surface. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to check for doubling, misstrikes, or other unusual features. If you think you've found something special, consider sending it to a professional grading company. The cost is often worth it if your coin has real potential. Also, compare your coin to others that have been sold recently. Check auction sites like eBay or Heritage Auctions to see what similar coins have sold for. And always do your research with trusted sources, not just flashy headlines. In conclusion, the 1990 D Washington quarter is a fascinating coin, not because it's always worth a fortune, but because it represents the mystery and excitement that keeps the world of coin collecting alive. Most of these coins are only worth 25 cents, but in pristine condition or with the right error, they can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. As for the $1 million quarter, it might just be a rumor or a legend waiting to come true. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more coin stories and collecting tips, and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in your change. Who knows? Maybe the next million-dollar discovery is sitting in your pocket right now. See you in the next video. Happy collecting. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today's video is going to make you take a second look at your pocket change because we're talking about a coin that most people overlook. It's the 1996 D. Lincoln penny. Now, to the average person, it's just another penny. It's worth 1 cent, maybe a quick toss into a change jar. But here's the twist. One rare version of this coin has been reported to have sold for a shocking $1.5 million. That's right. 1 penny, 1 coin, $1.5 million. Oh, how is this even possible? What makes the 1996 D penny different? And more importantly, how do you know if you might have one of these life-changing coins sitting in your house right now? Stick with me because we're going deep into the history, the minting process, the rare errors, and everything you need to know about the 1996 D. Lincoln penny. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909. It was created to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. From 1909 to 1958, the back of the penny featured 2 wheat stalks, which is where we get the name wheat penny. In 1959, the wheat design was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse, and that design lasted all the way until 2008. So by 1996, the coin you were getting in your pocket change was still the familiar Lincoln Memorial penny. The front showed Lincoln's portrait, and the reverse showed the Lincoln Memorial Building. Millions were minted that year, especially at the Denver Mint, which is indicated by the small d under the date. So if the wheat penny design ended in 1958, how is there a 1996 D wheat penny? This is where the story gets unbelievable. In a truly rare case, a 1996 D penny surfaced that had the wrong reverse, not the Lincoln Memorial, but the classic wheat ears design that had not been used in nearly 40 years. This type of coin is known in the numismatic world as a mule. A mule coin is created when 2 mismatched dies, one for the front of the coin and one for the back, are used together by mistake. These errors are incredibly rare and often don't make it out of the mint. But sometimes, by pure accident, one slips through the cracks and ends up in someone's pocket. That's exactly what happened here, that a collector stumbled across a strange 1996 D penny with a wheat reverse and sent it in for authentication. Professional grading services confirmed it was genuine. It wasn't tampered with, it wasn't a novelty coin, and it wasn't a replica. This was a real coin struck at the Denver Mint using an old wheat reverse die, paired with a modern 1996 D obverse. It shouldn't exist, but it does. Once authenticated, this coin became the focus of national attention. At a major auction, collectors battled it out for ownership, and the final hammer price? $1.5 million. Let that sink in. A penny that defied minting history, a freak accident of production, became one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever known. And the best part? There could be more out there. This coin wasn't locked in a museum. It wasn't hidden in a vault. It came from someone's hands, someone's pocket change. And that's why this story matters, because it could happen to you. But that's not the only valuable 1996 D penny. Even if you don't have the ultra-rare mule error, there are still other valuable versions of this coin out there. Some 1996 D pennies are known to have double die obverse errors. This means that during the minting process, the coin die was struck twice with a slight shift, creating a visible doubling in the letters and numbers. Look closely at the words Liberty, or In God We Trust, or even the date itself. If you see any doubling, especially under magnification, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another type of error to watch for is an off-center strike. If your 1996 D penny looks like part of the design is missing or shifted too far to one side, you may have a valuable mint error. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more collectible the coin becomes. Especially if the date and mint mark are still clearly visible. Then there are die cracks, cuds, and lamination errors, all signs of a damaged or deteriorating die that struck the coin. These can create raised lines, odd bulges, or missing pieces in the coin's surface. To a collector, these are more than just imperfections. They're rare variations that can make your coin far more valuable. And let's not forget about condition. Even a regular 1996 D penny with no errors can be worth money if it's in pristine condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades meaning better condition. A coin graded MS 65 or higher, that means mint state, no scratches, full luster, can bring in real money from collectors looking to complete their sets. In fact, high-grade examples of the 1996 D penny have already sold for several $100s at auction.so. What should you do if you think you have a rare or valuable 1996 D penny? Here's what I recommend. First, examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or a coin loupe to check for doubling in the letters or numbers. Look at both sides for signs of mint errors like cracks, off-center strikes, or unusual textures. Second, check the reverse. 99% of 1996 D pennies will have the Lincoln Memorial. But if you happen to see the wheat ears from the pre-1959 design, you may have hit the jackpot. Third, never clean your coin. Cleaning can reduce its value dramatically. Collectors want coins in original, untouched condition, even if they're dirty or discolored. Fourth, if you think you found something special, contact a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These are the top authorities in coin authentication and grading. They'll examine your coin, certify it, and provide a grade that can help you sell it at auction or to a serious collector. Let's wrap this up. The 1996 D Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but hidden among the millions are a few extraordinary coins. One rare mule error, with the old wheat reverse, stunned the collecting world and sold for a massive $1.5 million. Other 1996 D pennies with errors or in perfect condition can also be worth hundreds or even thousands. The key is knowing what to look for and taking the time to check your coins.so. Don't underestimate that little copper coin in your hand. It might just be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We cover rare coins, incredible finds, and hidden treasures every week. Drop a comment below and let us know. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you think you might have a valuable penny in your collection? Until next time, keep checking your change, stay curious, and happy coin hunting. Let me know if you want this turned into a shorts version, thumbnail title ideas, or video chapter breakdowns for editing.